Welcome to Digital Marketing Intelligence for Shopify Ask the Experts, our bi-weekly live show and podcast that features expert interviews and case studies to show you what to do and what's new in Shopify and e-commerce digital marketing for 2022 and beyond. Ask questions, suggest topics, and grow faster with actionable insights and proven strategies from the world's leading Shopify and e-commerce marketing experts. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Digital Marketing Intelligence for Shopify Ask the Experts. I'm Marissa Morgan. I'll be your show host today, and I'm also the Business Development Manager at Engage. On behalf of myself and the entire team at Engage, I'm excited to welcome you to today's show because today's guest is someone very special. She's someone that I've known for almost a year now, and she's not only an inventor, a patent holder, but a CEO and a founder. And today she's here to talk about how to drive your Shopify store sales in 2022. And she's going to share 4 specific things that have worked very well for her brand, Pour Moi Skincare, and her store. Those things are app integration, Shopify reporting, SMS, and email campaigns. We're going to hear more from our special guest when I bring her on in just a moment. But a quick reminder that at the end of every talk, I always share our Engage digital marketing news of the week. It could be a tip, a trend, a piece of news. And for this series, we're going to make sure that all the news that we bring you totally pertains to e-commerce, Shopify digital marketing. All right, I want to dive into today's show, but before I do that, I have to, of course, mention that all of today's incredible insights and information is brought to you by Engage, the producer of today's show. If you have never heard of Engage, Engage with its new modular platform called Engage OS democratizes the power of business communication software. So early stage and small to mid-sized businesses using non-technical staff can quickly and easily build customer-facing applications that fit their needs at little or no cost. Engage OS consists of customizable modules that are simple enough for anyone to use on their own or combine with a click of a button to make it personal to your e-commerce platform, but they're also powerful enough to drive core communication functionality within any business for any use case, and they also integrate very easily with other systems and applications. Funny that that's what we do because our guest today is going to talk a little bit about app integration and how that's helped her Shopify store. Modules available from Engage OS include SMS, WhatsApp, live chat, Facebook Messenger, Instagram DM, Apple Business Chat, CRM, and also Help Desk. And all of our modules include bots, automation, and a variety of other free productivity features. So head on over to ngagge.com after today's show and check out more about Engage, our platform, and what we can do for your e-commerce or Shopify business in 2022 and beyond. Okay, without further ado, I'm so excited to introduce you to today's special guest. Her name is Ulli Haslacher, and she's joining us from sunny California today. If you don't know who Ulli is, you need to. Ulli is the inventor, the founder, and the CEO of the patented climate-smart skincare brand called Pour Moi Skincare. If you speak French, you'll recognize right away that it has a French name, and yes, it is made in France with only the cleanest ingredients. Now, Pour Moi was recognized as one of Time Magazine's 100 best inventions of 2020, changing how we live. And it is formulated specifically for the distinctive climate that you live in or travel to. This groundbreaking patented concept that the skin needs to align and change with the climate it's in order to achieve a youthful and healthy glow has been 5 decades in the making and evolving not only through Ulli's personal struggle with her skin as she moved across the globe, but it's also come to being in conjunction with so much of her own personal research and medical research as well. Today, Impressively, Ulli holds 2 U.S. patents for climate smart skincare, as well as international patents in Japan, Canada, Israel, Australia, and more. And when she's not promoting her amazing brand on television and traveling literally coast to coast, she is running one of the top performing beauty Shopify stores, and it's outperforming so many other stores that were set up at the same time hers was. So she's here today to share with us her secrets. A few more things about Ulli. She is a seasoned entrepreneur. So she has experience not only in the beauty, health, and wellness industry, but she has spent more than 25 years with domestic and international entrepreneurship experiences, product development, IP filings, manufacturing, logistics, as well as omni-channel marketing and sales. So she's got more than a beauty brand inventor background. And I think that's what makes her an incredible guest for today's show. She has partnered with clients like Dr. Harold Lancer, the Alouette Skincare Company, Dr. Lewin Private Formula, and Jameson Vitamin and Supplements. And impressively, she's worked with Olivia Newton-John to help promote breast cancer health globally. She's here today to share with us how some of the things she's used to blow up her Shopify store can help you and your Shopify store in 2022 and beyond. Ulli, quite the introduction, but you deserve every word of it. Welcome to Digital Marketing Intelligence for Shopify. Thank you for being our expert today.
Hello, Marissa. Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. I don't even know if I can live up to this.
Well, Ulli, I know that you can because you and I both know each other and we've known each other for several months. And one thing I want to share with our audience today is I am a fan of Pour Moi. I've been using it for about 5 months. So I'm excited to hear more about the behind the scenes look at your company, what you've been doing to grow your Shopify store. And of course, I do want to mention I've got 2 screens in front of me. We are live right now on Facebook. We're also live on LinkedIn. If you're watching us, if you're joining us live today, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know where you're watching live from. And if you have any questions for Ulli, drop those in the comment section. We'd love to answer them during today's show. Okay, Ulli, I want to share as we get into today's talk a couple stats about Shopify and also a couple stats about your brand specifically.
Oh.
So, for those of you watching right now, currently, there are over 1 million businesses being run through Shopify in over 175 countries. And that list we know is continuing to grow every single day. Also, right now, currently, Shopify's market share is the largest of all e-commerce platforms, and nearly 1/3 of all companies in the US, 32%, almost a third, right now are using Shopify to power their e-commerce business. So those are impressive statistics on Shopify specifically. I want you all to hear a few statistics about Ulli's store. Ulli had amazing Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales this year that were up 221% thanks to her Shopify store. And in terms of store traffic, she is currently ranked in the top 2% of all the stores that launched around the same time she did in terms of how much traffic and how many people are coming into the store and shopping and looking and buying. She's ranked in the top 2%. And also impressively, and I know we're going to talk about email in just a few minutes, her email recovery rate for abandoned carts is 18%, which is more than double the average rate of 7%. So, Ulli, before we dive into all the amazing success you've had on Shopify, please take a minute, share with our audience a little bit more about the brand and what makes it so different and so special.
Well, Pour Moi is the world's first climate smart skincare. We're doing something totally different and very disruptive. It's not your skin type. It's not your age. It's not your ethnicity. It's not even, your age. the only thing that matters to how your skin looks and feels is that local climate you are in. And this is not me saying this, Marissa. This is medical research, large-scale medical research around the globe that has found that the most outer layer of the skin, this is where we actually see, depends hugely and are changing accordingly to the climate you are in. Are you in a humid climate? Are you in a dry climate? Is it hot? Is it cold? Our skin has a biochemical response to all these different variants in the climate. And we are the only skincare that customizes skincare accordingly to it. It took us over 10 years in the laboratory in France to create these formulas. We started pilot testing in 2016, and that's actually when we opened our Shopify store. So we have been with Shopify for many, many years. Even we didn't really nationally launch our brand until 2020. But we started in 16 to do the first pilot studies of our formulas in the different regions and different seasons on a small scale. And Shopify supported that kind of business. And then now where it's scaling really fast, we are still with Shopify and just, grown into Shopify Plus from the regular Shopify. It has been a tremendous platform to support our business. That's in a nutshell what we do and how Shopify has been for now 6 years with us.
One question I'd love to ask you, were you a little intimidated at all to start using Shopify, or did you feel like the platform and all of its features were very helpful, user-friendly, and easy to navigate?
Beside the beauty background, I do have also a small kind technology background. So I was involved with one of the first e-commerce platforms that was back in 1998. So I know something about building shopping carts and e-commerce when it started. And in 2016, when we started to take these formulas from the laboratory, where we used for the first time actually climate chambers already in the R&D process to get the formula right, we knew this is a complete new kind of skincare really made from scratch. We need to do pilot testing in the different areas. And, we were thinking about, should we do a custom shopping cart to get all the data that we want to gather? And at that time, a new platform were rising up. Not a lot of people knew about it, and that was Shopify. It was much, much smaller than it is today. And we said, you know what, let's try it. Let's go on this new platform, Shopify. And so we are one of, I would say one of the first companies that start using Shopify, in 2016. And it worked extremely well. That was our decision, that it actually had already at that time incredible reporting and very easy to implement. Even, if you don't have technical staff, programmers working for you, you could easily set it up yourself, which initially everything was very, very easy that we did, because we were just only having a few customers where we got feedback from.
Great advice, great tips, and great insights. And I like to hear that you felt, even without technical staff, it was very user-friendly and very easy to set up. And that's one of the things we talk about from our company perspective, Engage. Even if a company is small and it's just starting out and you don't have the technical staff, it's important to find the right tools that you can use to, improve your sales, to improve your customer experience, the communication that you're having with your customer, things like SMS, having live chat on your website. All of these features enhance the customer experience. And I know, Ulli, as a businesswoman, you know the importance of building loyal customers, right? We all know that
Yes.
Loyal customers buy more, they tell friends about your product, they spend more, and they return less. So it's very important to use the right tools like Engage, like Shopify, to build a customer experience that leaves a good taste in your customer's mouth and builds a loyal customer.
Well, Marissa, the truth about business is if you don't have the customer come back, you don't have a business. It
Mhm.
is too expensive in the e-commerce space, but I would say that's true for retail, for any kind of business. If you always have to spend to get a new customer, if that customer, you don't have any retention rate, if that customer is not coming back and buy, you will be out of business. Doesn't matter how much money you raise, eventually you will run out. It's too expensive. So these are very, very important application. Customer experience should be number one
We
in
agree.
any business.
This is why you're a perfect guest for our show, because your business model and the things that you're doing are all really working on building that customer experience. Like you said, it's very expensive to gain a new customer, and the importance of having repeat sales and repeat customers, you really can't speak enough to the fact that that is true. Well, Ulli, let's dive into some of your secret sauce and what has made your Shopify store so successful, especially in the last year or year and a half, I would say, when the whole world seems to be now pivoting to be online, to make this shift into e-commerce. You started this way before the pandemic, which was a smart business decision. And I know with, 25 years of consulting experience and omni-channel and sales, you saw this coming a lot sooner than many people. So you were smart in that regard. Let's look at the outline that we put together for today's show. We're learning how to drive sales to your Shopify store in 2022 and beyond. Now, these are just a few things that Ulli has used to much success for her store. So we'll walk through each of these. And if you have questions about any of these things, app integration, Shopify reporting, SMS, email campaigns, feel free to leave your comments or questions in the comment or questions section. But please remember, Ulli does not work for Shopify. She is an inventor, a CEO, a founder, but she's here because she's experienced a lot of success for her brand using Shopify as a platform. So, Ulli, let's first talk about app integration and your experience with integrating apps on Shopify. What has your experience been? Do you have any tips or insights on that specific area?
Well, I look at Shopify today, it's really your virtual store. And the app integration has been so seamlessly with so many amazing applications that, as you said, bringing so much to the customer experience that I'm looking at it as a create your own little Lego house and you can see what is important. So in skincare, what the first application we really were looking for was reviews. And we were looking for a company, for apps, and looked into different apps that would give third-party reviews. That mean they would be tied into Shopify, can verify that that is actually a customer who leaves the reviews, that customer paid full price for the product, and that they were not paid to write that review. They had no incentive for it. Because we wanted to have the experience of the consumer that when they go on the site and they see a product, that they can really read real reviews, what's good, what's bad about it. And then this application also let us respond to the to the review. So we could, if somebody had a problem, the customer can see how we address the problem. So that was very important for us. Then, email marketing, staying in touch with your customer, giving them special offers, telling them about news is very important. As you said, the same what engaged us. It is very customer engagement, communication. There is a balance to it. I hate it when my email is full of, constantly being bombarded by emails and SMS. So as a merchant, you have to understand what is the sensitive balance of it. You do not want to be annoying, but you do want to give, you do want to make sure they know if there's new offers, they know you are there to communicate with them. So that is really important. So these applications, we have many, shipping on time, reporting, sending out tracking numbers, being able, all of that can be plugged into Shopify very easily. I always say in e-commerce, the ultimate customer experience is that the customer doesn't have to contact you. They get everything. They have all the information. They have a seamless, beautiful experience. And they only really come back to shop more. That's the ultimate customer experience.
I like that when we talk about app integration, the first thing that your mind goes to, Ulli, is reviews. Because in my mind, you think most business owners that have a product, immediately it's the product, 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 product. And you've already shared in just this short time that it's really in the details. It's really in cultivating the relationship with your customer, because it's true. You can have the best product in the world, and being that you have won a Time Magazine award, and being that you have such incredible sales, and being that your company, Pour Moi, has so many repeat customers, we know that your product is amazing. I mean, I can speak firsthandedly to that because I use it. But even if you have the most amazing product in the world, if you have not considered the details like reviews, how do I get reviews on my website? Reviews that people can trust, like you shared. If you don't
Exactly.
consider the tracking process, and I like that you shared this idea that the best customer experience is never having to communicate with the customer, right? Getting exactly what you want, when they said they were going to deliver it, how they said they were going to deliver it, packaged how you expected it to come, with nothing wrong, for the price you were told you were going to pay. When all of those things are in line, you're right. And then they're getting this amazing product on top of that. That sets a company up to be successful. And app integration, as you just shared, is a huge part of that, because you truly need almost a different app for the most part for each of those key pieces, right? I love the
Yeah.
review thing that you mentioned too, because we just recently got reviews up on our live show website. And we have gotten so much feedback on that because people knew about our podcast, our biweekly show. But, until you start reading what other people think and what their experience has been, there's so many podcasts or shows out there. How do you know if
Yeah,
it's the right one for you? And it goes the same way
exactly.
with skincare, right? There's so many brands out there. How do I know that Pour Moi is the right for me, right skincare for me? But when I read
Yes,
an
you want to
amazing
know,
review. Mhm,
you want to understand what experience people have. Do they break out? Is it really working in this different climate? Is really using a cream in the summer and then using another cream in the winter, does it really make a difference? That people have used it for a year and seen the difference? And are they writing about it? Are they exciting? A lot of the why people don't do third-party reviews is that they believe most of the time people only leave a comment if they are unhappy, if they
mhm,
have to say, I really didn't like it. They don't think that people are going to support the positive experience if there's nothing in for them. But the truth is that that is not true. The truth is that people, when they get excited about something, they want to, shout it off the roof. They tell their friends, their family. That's why we are
mhm,
grown by word of mouth. And they share it in our community. And what they see is, when you go on our website and you see the reviews, we write everybody back. If you take the time to write us about your experience, we will take the time to thank you and tell you what we learned, what we are, what we can do better. We respond to you. That's the kind of, as you said, engage is the name. That's the kind of engagement I believe in e-commerce is the right kind of engagement. Sending millions of emails that don't mean anything, that is, an engagement nobody actually really needs. We are all, having that virtual clutter already.
right.
And most people turn it off. There's now all kinds of softwares how you don't get these emails anymore. And so it's not an effective way. But to really engage, and we have all our customer service in-house. We don't outsource anything because it really, truly, I believe it's so important that that kind of communication is really done in that this is really an exchange between the brand and the customer. It should not be by a third party. the customer service should never be outsourced. That is my personal guarantee to my customers. It's always us who will be on the other side.
And that makes sense, Ulli, because you know your brand, right? And I know that you run a beautiful company and you personally know all of your employees. You interact with them weekly, daily. So, in a way, I think that your business model, even though it's growing and you're having so much success, part of that success is really keeping it personal even within your company, right? Like, I just think this is so great because I think what's working for you internally from a CEO standpoint, a founder, a manager, a doer, an inventor, you're hands on everything. You're doing what you do well. But I know you have an amazing team who you've hired, and they're hired for their strengths so they can focus on what they do well. But the communication within your team, I know, is exceptional. And that makes sense because what's happening inside is shining out, and how you treat your customers, interact with your customers, email your customers. I love this.
Thank you, Marissa. We
You're
love
welcome.
our customers and we're very grateful. We know there's a lot of choices out there and they choose us repeatedly, and we are beyond excited and grateful for it. And we want to do the best job possible for them.
Well, let's talk a little bit about how we can do a better job for our customers with Shopify reporting. So Shopify has some features like internal reports that you can use. And part of those reports are what gave us our statistics that I could share today. 221% up in sales this Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Things like that must get you really excited when you see them coming through the Shopify reports. What are a few of the things you look for in your reporting?
Well, they are exciting if you compare it to how Shopify has grown in these 4 days. So Shopify overall has grown 24%. We have grown 221%. So we almost outpaced it 10 times. That is, when we see how we compare the data of how you can see if this is successful or not, and if we are growing the right way. The reporting is very important because Shopify gives you a 10-minute delay on the reporting. And you don't think 10 minutes is a lot, but, it really, if there's anything I can say to Shopify, what I want to have them improve is I would like to have that cut down, because when we go on television shows and everything else, it takes 10 minutes, feel like they are like an hour, how time is subjective. So it feels much, much longer. It takes, do we know if it was successful? We have to wait 10 minutes, but it is a beautiful reporting tool. We know immediately how our conversion rate, if there's a problem, returns, you at all the time, you can put any kind of time frame. You can actually source the data from the consumer, from the customers. Is it a repeating customer? Is it a new customer? Do we get enough new customers? What are the ratios? I mean, you really know everything about your business at all times. And then, of course, you have to compare it to the industry data to know if you are successful and where you should be in the growth, channel. But, I'm very happy to say we do very well.
This is great. So I like that you said, you can only really judge your numbers based on a comparison, which is true, comparing yourself at a certain date to another date, right? Comparing your numbers on one product to maybe another product, or comparing your numbers to maybe that of another competitor in your same industry, or of course, averages throughout Shopify, right?
Correct. And Shopify actually will give you all the time the industry standard. So they give you the industry standard, and they're going to give you all beauty brands that are, beauty, health, and wellness brands that are in your industry, how you compare to them. Because we started so early with Shopify in 2016. So being in the top 2% of all Shopify businesses that are comparable. There are skincare, health, beauty brands, cosmetic brands, is definitely a huge honor. They consider us a high growth brand. And but we only really know that because Shopify tells us this. And then, of course, so we don't have to go out and buy this data and spend thousands of
Mm.
dollars. They constantly tell us, as you were saying, abandoned cart. Do we do a good job or do we not do a good job? Is 18% good or is it bad? Well, Shopify tells us our average 18 is extraordinary. It's not just good,
More
but
than twice the
extraordinary.
average. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, so we get always, and and they tell us where we can do better. So,
Mhm.
and we can then invest into the apps that help us to improve this kind of statistics and create a better experience on, whatever, we have to fix. So it's a very fun, fun, but business you have to enjoy too. So, it's interesting. It's exciting.
Well, I'm just so excited to have the chance to interview you. And I want to mention quickly, I see the numbers creeping up on Facebook. Many people are just joining us now. Also on LinkedIn. Right now, we're simulcast to LinkedIn Live. We're simulcast on Facebook. We're also on YouTube. If you're just joining us, maybe you just saw my repost or you saw a post from Ulli or you saw something on LinkedIn. If you've missed the beginning of the show, I don't want you to worry. At the end of the show, which will be in about 15 minutes, I will share with you how you can find the replay to this show. And of course, being that this will live on Facebook, and I do think LinkedIn as well, you'll always be able to find the replay of this show. And if you're just joining us, our special guest today on digital marketing intelligence for Shopify is the CEO, the founder, but most importantly, the inventor of Pour Moi Skincare. It is a science-backed skincare brand that has taught us that your skin's needs are different, depending on the climate and the weather that you're in. And Ulli Haslacher, the creator of Pour Moi, has over years and years and years of her own research and medical research and her own skin struggles has determined exactly what our skin needs depending on the climate. And she's created an entire skincare brand that does just that. Now, today she's here with us to share some of the secrets behind her Shopify Pour Moi Skincare store success. We've talked app integration. We just got through talking about Shopify reporting. I think the coolest thing about what you shared with us, Ulli, is not only does Shopify make this information available to you for $0, but they give you not only industry standards and averages, but averages and standards across Shopify. And I think that's so important for you as a business to really understand where you stand. Let's talk a little bit about SMS and email. I know SMS is really the next step for your company. So let's talk email first and then talk about what you'd like to do for your SMS campaigns moving into the future. So let's talk email campaigns. Now, do you outsource your email or do you do your email in-house right now?
We have, of course, an app. We're using Klaviyo,
Okay.
but I do all the emails personally myself. So when
Good
I
deal.
when I communicate with the consumer, it is really me writing these emails. We don't have a marketing person that it's outsourced. As I say, most of it I try to be as authentic because I think today consumer experience, to have a wonderful experience, it includes authenticity. The consumer more and more wants authenticity. They want to know everything about the business. They want to know everything, where the product is made, what materials, packaging is made out. And we have 100% transparency policies about everything we do. And we are trying to, share everything possible so the consumer really, our customer doesn't have to have any open questions. And, and we always answer every question they might have. So I do the email marketing myself. The only thing I want to say, Marissa, is that Shopify is not free. You have a transaction cost for everything,
Right.
but it includes the whole entire enchilada.
Right. But you don't have to pay specifically for the reporting. That's part of your Shopify basically package. Right.
Exactly. Well, there's a package and then you have a transaction fee. depending on how many transactions you have. So just want to make sure that people do understand that Shopify does have a cost. When you start out, it's a very limited cost, but in our case, where you have Shopify Plus, it starts to become a more substantial cost because you're running, it's a big shop. It's a big shop now with lots of people in that shop all the time and lots of products. So with lots of tools.
Well, thank you for clarifying that, because it's true. Sometimes I run things together. And if someone's listening and maybe they're new to Shopify or even e-commerce, that's important. It's an important thing to know too. In order to be successful, we all know you do have to spend money to make money. But what's so great is now that you've heard, even in today's show, how much success Ulli's brand Pour Moi is having with Shopify. Granted, she has a great product and she's building loyal customers the right way, but also knowing that 32% of US e-commerce is using Shopify. I think that can give our audience and viewers confidence to know that Shopify is a great platform and it is a great choice, and it does offer so many different features. Now, Ulli, I know that you just mentioned we're talking about your email campaigns that you use, and you mentioned that you actually do them yourselves, and it really is you. So just for fun, I wanted to bring up an email that I received from Pour Moi Skincare, because now that I know it's you, when I'm reading it, I'm like, ooh, do I hear Ulli in there? And what's funny is now I really, truly, and I like this, I hear a human, I hear a connection. Your subject, and of course, it includes a tiny little emoji of a little, I don't know if anybody at home will be able to see that, a little freezing man, right? Because we're in winter. But it says, we found the thief that robs your skin's moisture, and put a stop to it, right? And then you say, dear treasured customer, cold weather is a moisture thief. And you go into, hey, when the temperature drops this low, did you know that your skin's robbed of 30% of its moisture? Some of the stuff you've been using, it's not going to cut it, but you got to check out this duo, this Polar Day Cream, this Polar Moisture Burst Mask. I like that you include photos. And then, of course, and this makes so much sense, you bundle something together to give the customer value. And then you say, hey, because you've shopped with us before, we're even going to give it to you at a lower price. So click here to buy. And then, of course, you've got Time Best Inventions 2020. What's crazy, Ulli, is this to me seems like a no-brainer. So simple. You've cracked the code. But I think you and I can both raise our hands, and everybody listening, and say that you've been a victim of these awful, like, auto-generated emails that you can almost tell a robot's done them. It's like, hello, sir or madam. And it's funny how something that is so simple can be abused by companies, right? Or really overlooked in terms of creating that personal interaction and really coming across more like you're presenting the problem and how to solve it, versus being like pitchy and salesy and pressury and sticky and yucky and gooey.
It's again this balance of what should be automated and what you really need to do personally, and take the time to create it, think it through, consider the time of the customer to look, and that how much do they have in the inbox, do you have something relevant to say or not, and that is the success. Our email marketing is very, very successful because we are again, this is really, as you were saying, engaged. This is engagement with our customer that should be personal. When it comes to the customer experience of buying the product, we want to automate it as much that they really do, what I believe in, with a lot of automated emails, so they get their tracking number, they know when it's shipped out, all of this with very short, to the point emails, so they know where they're, when it's delivered, all of it. So they never have to call, because I truly believe that, delivering the product should be a experience that is only met 100% when you don't have to call and ask what went wrong. You know what I mean? It should be perfect. But when it comes to the front end of communicating and engaging, that's why I love so much the name of your company, Engage. That needs to be personalized. That needs to be done by the person who actually communicates. Whoever is that chief marketing officer, whoever is the one who tells the story of the brand, and brings in, the other party, scientists and everything else to help communicate the story. But who is that chief storyteller? That should be the one who does the marketing. With me, I have wonderful help with wonderful people who are helping me telling this story because I'm English second language. I have never done the front end being the spokesperson. So I do have, again, a wonderful experienced team that helps me doing this. So I can't take all the credit for it because it really, Marissa, the truth of business is, nothing is ever done by one person. If somebody tells you that, do not believe it. It is always, it's always team. The team makes the dream come true, not
Right.
one person. Yeah.
Agreed. And when everybody
So besides
focuses,
me, it's a team. Yeah.
yeah, when everyone focuses on what they're good at and you hire people for their strengths, then when you come together, obviously there is no I in team. And when you put, 5 heads together that are all like aiming for the same thing, or 25 heads together that all have the same goals and bring all their strengths to the table, that's hard to say, strengths. Um, you get a great product, especially when you, like you said, you have a great product to start with. Your focus is on the customer and solving their problems, and then you make it
Yeah.
very easy for that customer to communicate with you. And I do like, again, I want to repeat this. I love that you shared that the best customer experience is almost when the customer never even needs to talk to you, when they can get from,
That's what I like when I buy online. I do not want to, in my busy life, now start to find out where my package is. Something is missing. I don't know this. I don't know that. I do not like it. So I really believe that my customers want to have the same experience that I do when I purchase something. I mean, we have, within us humans, most of the things we are very similar. We want to have our kids healthy. We want to have happy families. We want to have a nice home. I mean, these are all shared values. And when it comes to the customer experience on an e-commerce store, we have a lot of shared values in all of us as well, of how we want to have a package delivered and what kind of, tools we need as a brand grows that needs to come in to deliver that customer experience. And I'm sure Engage is a fantastic, it's in the right space to help make this happen.
Thank you for saying that. This is the perfect collaboration to team up for our show today, because you are in the business of growing your brand. You're utilizing these amazing tools that Shopify offers. You've had great success. You're continuing to do more, though. And I think this is a great way to kind of wrap up our talk. You are always striving, Ulli, and I know this from our conversations prior to today, but even some of the things you've shared with us today, you're always striving to do better. And you're always striving to do things to grow the brand, to grow the business, and to keep up with this digital marketing world. Let's talk a little bit about your goals for the future and transitioning to using SMS, which we all know is really text marketing and communicating with your customers through, the thing that they're always attached to almost 24/7. What is your goal with starting SMS marketing this year? What would you like to see happen?
Well, I was very on the fence with SMS marketing because, again, sometimes you have to step away how you feel about things. I felt like it was too invasive to send people text messages. But turns out that, lots of our customers are actually asking if instead of an email, we can send them an SMS because they're very worried about they're missing a promotion, and they have all kinds of email blockers on their emails, and so it's an evolving world out there, and SMS is really something I believe every merchant has to have as an option as well. But again, an option. You cannot just go out and terrorize people with text messages. So we're going to add SMS to our offerings, and of course, ask first our customers to opt in for it. We're not sending anybody a text message who doesn't want to have a text message. So we're going to make it clear that, and then for people who like text message. And I was surprised how many. It is really, when you ask people if you want to have a text message, we have I think about 40% of our customers actually would enjoy getting a text message. I think that what people don't enjoy is this random text that you get that you never opted in, and you cannot get rid of. But they do like, their favorite brand for the reorder and everything else. They do like to have the SMS. So we are exciting to add this. As you are saying, it's constantly changing. The digital world is constantly new, exciting things that you can add in. And so you have to be at the pulse of the world. Even I'm a 3 times grandma, and certainly from a different age. Again, you have to be at the pulse of times.
Well, I have to just, of course, interject and say you throw in there that you're a 3 times grandma, but your skin obviously looks amazing. I know you use your own products. So if you're not a walking testimonial for our audience to try Pour Moi skincare, then I don't know who is, Ulli. I like that you immediately again touched on how the customer is going to perceive this SMS, right? This change and this really kind of pivot to incorporating SMS into a marketing strategy. The first thing you said is, I want to make sure my customers want that text message. I'm always going to be ethical about it and give my customers the choice. I'm not going to randomly take their cell phone number from my files and just start bombarding them with random messages. You're always going to give them the opportunity to opt in. But right in line with that, you shared a great statistics that 40% of your now, existing customer base said, yeah, I'd be interested in a text. I know as a consumer myself, Ulli, I think I'm opted into 2 different brands that I receive texts from, and I love it. I know when there's a sale.
Yeah.
I know when I have an opportunity to snag a product early. I know when something I buy all the time maybe is on sale, or they're offering a promo code, or I'm getting it 5% off for my birthday. Like, these are all things that if I love the product and I feel good about the company, they're things that make my life easier, right? As you said, I don't
Yeah.
have to go
Yeah.
and find what I need. It's there. And I know, as a consumer, I'm always on my phone. So for me, a text is a very easy way to reach me. I know my
Yeah.
co-producer Steve and I always message back and forth through an app versus picking
Yeah.
up the telephone. That's how we
Yeah.
communicate. So I
Yeah.
think
No, it
SMS
is.
is a big part of the future.
I was surprised too. So, going back of how we started about apps, we do have an app tied into that allows for self-declared data. So we
Mhm.
can send little questionnaires to our customers and ask them questions, and then they can, is called self-declared data. They tell us how they feel about it, and that's how we find out. If me saying I don't like text messages, but then again, this is not a value text message. It's just saying
Oui.
how I communicate. And you have to be open-minded in running a digital store to be asking your customers and says, how do you feel about it? And you learn that most people do feel like you, or many people feel like you, Marissa, that they said, I would like it to have a text. So that's why we're looking in SMS. We're going to do the whole opt-in, making sure people have a chance to opt in, and then start growing that opt-in, list in communicating and offering, one more way of how people can see their tracking numbers for their arrival. And, there's a lot of ways how you can implement SMS.
And
And we're excited about it.
And what's perfect about this too is just as easy as it is to opt in, most of the time it will say, hey, if at any time you no longer wish to receive these messages, just reply stop, right? Or just reply
Yeah,
no.
that's
I
with
think there's like,
emails the same. Yeah,
yeah, I
exactly. You
think there's
can
like
opt out. Yeah.
4 or 5
I
words that you
think
can
this
use.
is
It's
the
crazy.
law now too. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think that, again, if you're a successful e-commerce company, with how the algorithm works today has been so sophisticated, you won't be able to come up organically in Google or even Facebook if you are doing any of the spamming procedures. You actually are not being able to build a successful business. So this is kind of, e-commerce has been emerging every year, getting better and better and better. It's still, relatively new. Even I think it started in the 90s. I know it started in the 90s, but I don't, like 95. But it now starts to become mainstream, and there is, it's a self-regulated industry. The government doesn't really step in, but the way of how Google and all of them are trying to avoid the government to step in is to try to create this algorithm to self-regulate itself and keep that spammer and keep these bad practices out of the industry. You can't succeed without it.
Very good. I heard a joke the other day, Ulli, that totally plays into what you said about businesses being pushed off like the main first page of like Google searches. The joke was, where do you hide a dead body? Or where's the best place to hide a dead body? On the second page of Google, right? Because no one ever gets to the second page of a Google search, or very rarely, unless they're looking maybe for their own business, saying, why am I not on the first page? Well, I'll tell you
So
what,
on the
go to
first
Google,
page, you can
everybody.
know it's a
Yep.
good
It's a good
business, and
brand.
they have the good practices. Yes.
Go to google.com, you guys. You got to put in Pour Moi Skincare. I promise you, they will be right there, front and center on the first page of your Google search. And just in case you don't speak French or you're listening on the podcast replay, Pour Moi is spelled Pour, and then moi, MOI, and skincare as it sounds. So www.pourmoiskincare.com is how you can find out more about climate-backed skincare. Really anti-aging for your zip code is what Ulli likes to say, and it makes so much sense. And Ulli, you have a special offer for anyone listening to this podcast replay or watching our live show today. You're offering a discount code for any one purchase at pourmoi.com, 50% off, even if someone is a new customer. If it's anyone can go online.
Or existing
right?
customer,
Even
exactly. For taking the time, listening to us today, we are offering MM50. Put that code in by checkout and take 50% off your order. We are, excited for you to join us, and hopefully, you try Pour More. And even if you have 50% off, we have a 100% money back guarantee. We want everybody to be happy at all times. So if there's any problems with it, call us. As you know, we have I think we have we have a very, very low return rate, less than 1%, in an industry where skincare is returned 30% or more. It's kind of built into the cost. So that's another reason why Pour More is, why we can do this disruptive pricing, delivering prestige European skincare for, a fraction what you pay in the department stores, because it works so much better. So we don't have to build in returns and all these other costs, huge marketing costs and everything else to one-time sell, because we have that repeated customer. We don't have return. We can build a very healthy business, and we pass it on in a, sensitive price brand or disruptive kind of price brand for premium skincare by the climates you live in.
That is awesome. And I love that you share you're willing to do it too, because you don't have the return rate that most other skincare brands have. You're at less than 1%. And you also have so many repeat customers that you're like, yes, come in, try the product, 50% off. Sometimes I see on your website you offer free shipping too. So you do build a lot of value into pourmoi.com. But you know that someone's going to have most likely 99.9% a great experience with the brand, that they are going to come back and they are going to order again. Being that we're in the middle of winter right now, and yes, it may be summer when you're listening to this podcast, but let's talk, current temperature, current climate. There's cold fronts running across the world right now. It's going to be like 40 degrees at night down in Florida this next week. It's a little crazy. They're talking about iguanas falling out of trees. We have just a few minutes left. I've got to get to the engaged news of the week, but before I go there, just share with us what you would suggest for our customers, our viewers, our audience watching today in terms of starting with your product line? Is there one or two products that you think would be a good starting point here in the winter time, whether they're in, you
It's
know,
our Polar Day Cream, and
Mhm.
it's also our new Polar Moisture Burst Mask. That's the first mask. That's the mask you don't have yet because it acclimates skin to this cold temperature, especially as you said in the South, who is not used to this cold temperature. So your skin goes, has a real tough time to adapt. So these are the products I recommend. And I want to say, Marissa, I enjoyed it so much. It's so much fun hanging out with you. I hope one day we can actually do it in person, and that Zoom interviews will be, still something we use because that it's moving forward, but just something in addition, and we can actually, meet in person. I cannot wait for that.
Oh, I cannot wait as well. I'm so happy we got the chance to connect today to share with our audience a little bit about your brand, Pour Moi. You are the CEO, the creator, the inventor, 5 decades in the making, this skincare line that really truly helps you achieve all the skin benefits, the glowing, the hydration, softening the fine lines and wrinkles, all the benefits we want, whether you're a female or a male. All those benefits can be had with Ulli's skincare brand because it takes into account the science of our climate, the science of our weather. And it's been awarded a Time Magazine award in the year of 2020. So that just absolutely shows us that Ulli knows what she's doing from a business perspective, a science perspective, and also as an entrepreneur and beauty specialist. So, Ulli, thank you so much for your time today. I am going to share with everybody your LinkedIn link. Ulli is very busy running a brand. She actually self admits, I'm not on LinkedIn all the time, but of course, she is absolutely open to connections. And I do want to spell out your name for anyone listening on the podcast. You can find Ulli on LinkedIn. Her name is spelled Ulli, last name Haslacher, Haslacher. So please find Ulli on LinkedIn, connect with her, check out pourmoi.com. And I'll let you go, Ulli. I know you have a very busy business to run and lots of amazing things to come, I know, in the future for your brand. So I just want to thank you so much again for joining us. And I hope you have an amazing rest of 2020 and your statistics for your Shopify store and your sales continue to grow. I can't wait to see what Pour Moi does now and into the future.
Thank you so much, Marissa. You're just a wonderful person. And thank you for the opportunity to join you on this podcast and share some of Pour Moi's fabulousness.
Oh, and that is a great word. Pour Moi's fabulousness. You guys don't forget to check out pourmoi.com. And Ulli and her team is offering a one-time 50% off discount to try her climate-based science-backed skincare. It's MM50 for a full 50% discount. There's no like hidden tiny fine print. Just put that in the promo code section when you check out and 50%. And also just a quick ask, is that good on just any pricing on the website? Regular pricing, sales pricing? Is it just
Everything.
forward?
Yeah,
Everything.
there's
Bam.
no rules other
No
than
rules.
you can
No
buy
rules.
anything on. Yeah, exactly. No rules. Just, put it in and you take 50% off at checkout. No
Awesome.
exception, no little fine print.
No little fine print, no little fine lines, right? That's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. You guys check out pourmoiskincare.com. Ulli, that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank you so much for being our guest expert, sharing more about your success with Shopify. And I look forward again to seeing all the great things that come your way this year.
Thank you. And thank you, Engage. Bye-bye.
Love it. What an amazing guest Ulli was. Not only is she, oh, my camera's out of focus. Let's get that back in focus. There we go. Not only is she an amazing business owner and entrepreneur, she has a consulting history and has worked with so many health and wellness brands, but she is right now an excellent example of how you can use Shopify to build your e-commerce brand and have success in what I think we should call this e-commerce age. That is really what we're in. I have just about 30 more seconds with you, so I'll quickly share our Engage digital marketing news of the week. We recently came across an article. Let me pop up our Engage News of the Week banner. There it is. We recently came across an article we thought would be helpful to you if you are a Shopify store owner. The article is titled Tools Shopify Offers to Make Marketing Easier. Tools, Shopify. I may have the title wrong actually, but the article reviews these features which are included with your Shopify store. So, customizable themes, Shopify Learn Knowledge Base, search engine optimization capabilities, SEO, campaign tracking, and blog creation tools. Shopify has made it easier for users to create, manage, and track marketing. And I love that we're going to share this article with you because this is exactly what Ulli just shared with us. We anticipate that Shopify will keep adding new robust features in the future to make marketing even more simplified. So stay tuned. And here is the article. I'll just share the link for those of you watching. You can screenshot the screen to take that article, but you can go to www.convertout.com/blog and then /does Shopify help with marketing let's find out. If you're listening on the podcast, that was a lot. But if you're watching the live stream, just screenshot the video screen and visit that website to learn more about the tools that Shopify offers to make marketing easier. That's the name of the article, Tools Shopify Offers to Make Marketing Easier. Woo! What a great show. Again, please visit pourmoiskincare.com. Ulli is offering a wonderful opportunity for you to take advantage with 50% off a one-time order to try her climate smart skincare brand. Everybody, if you just missed today's show or you're just joining us and you want to watch the replay, a quick reminder that you can find Ulli's show starting next week in our live show library. Visit engage.com/live-show-library. Her show will be there for a replay. We also have a podcast library as well. If you like to listen to a podcast while you're cleaning the house or getting something done, her show will also be in our podcast library as well. Our next show will be Thursday, January 27th. Our guest will be Brock Shillington. He will be sharing with us. Let me share with you. He will be sharing with us why a well thought out branding strategy is very important and a differentiator to your Shopify success. And he'll share the 3 most important pieces that need to be in place for your branding strategy. And Brock Shillington is an ex-Shopify executive, and he's also a successful Shopify store owner. He will be with us this Thursday, January 27th at 11 a.m. Eastern. Okay, you guys, on behalf of myself and the entire team, I want to thank you so much for joining us again for a successful Digital Marketing Intelligence for Shopify show. Don't forget to listen to the replay, share the link to your colleagues and friends who may benefit from Ulli's advice, and I'll see you back here on Thursday for our next biweekly show. Have a great day, everyone.